Hi everyone, this is Reverend Prophetess Lydia Wisdom, also known as the Prophet of the Christ with Christian Gifted Psychics. Today's date is March the 23rd, 2025, and it is 5:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what I wanted to do was share with you my tips on weight loss. And so if you see me looking down, I'm simply looking at my notes. And also, before we start this video, first of all, y'all, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist or nothing like that. So just make sure that you guys are aware that this is just my personal experience that I'm sharing with you. And it's not no medical advice or anything like that. So do make sure you check with your doctor before attempting any weight loss or doing any diet or anything like that. And that's, of course, for your safety because I want you all to stay safe and healthy. So, now my first tip would be to make sure you know your BMR. Now, your BMR, you can just Google it. Me personally, I use calculator.net. You don't have to use that site. You can use another site. That's just so you'll know how many calories you should be intaking a day. So meaning on that site, you would enter your age, your sex, whether you male or female. You enter your weight, your height, and also your activity level. And it will tell you how many calories you should be partaking a day. And of course, when you find out how many calories you partake in a day and you find out you partaking a little too much, now you know you got some work to do. Just like I had plenty of work to do. So yeah, make sure you know that first. So, and my second tip would be is make sure you are incorporating veggies, fruits, and protein into your diet. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water and you are also staying hydrated. Very important. And my third tip would be mindful of any sugar that you may be eating. You could be consuming too much sugar. Not saying that you can't have sugar, but it could also cause you to gain weight. Like for example, like if you like cookies, cake, pie, like I do a lot. And also sometimes with energy drinks, because I was drinking those as well, just not that much. But energy drinks are loaded with a lot of sugar. So you definitely want to be mindful of that. Again, cakes, uh, pastries, cookies, and things like that. Be careful with the sugar. It can cause you to gain weight drastically. So, my fourth tip would be incorporate exercise, cardio, and strength training. And my fifth tip is don't obsess over the scale. Take progress pictures because I know when you first start losing weight, it's going to seem like you just dropped a whole load of weight. And the reason for that is because what I found is when you first start losing weight, it's water weight that drops off first, and that is be like 10 pounds. You're like, whoa! And then all of a sudden it starts to seem like it's slower when you're losing fat. So don't obsess over that because it happened to me as well. So you can also plateau as well when you're on a weight loss journey. And also be mindful if you can gain weight. It might seem like you're gaining weight, but it'll be because you're gaining muscle because you're working out and exercising. So be mindful of that. And also, my sixth tip would be to measure your waist. That way you'll kind of know is if your waist is getting smaller. Me personally, when I first started the weight loss, my waist was probably like a 41 or 42. And then in January, my waist was down to a 38. And now my waist is, I think it's like a 31 or maybe it's a 30 now is where my waist is. So your waist, which you can measure with a tape measure, will tell you if you're losing weight. Because if your waist is getting smaller, meaning your clothes is going to get bigger, and ultimately meaning you might need to get new clothes. Now, if your clothes is doing the opposite and they getting tighter now, girl, you got a problem, okay? I don't know if you eating cupcakes or something like that, but you got a problem, okay? That means you're doing the opposite of losing weight. So, now, my seventh tip would be to be patient. Don't stress, just be patient. Can't say that enough. Now, my eighth tip would be careful, like if with takeout, eating out in restaurants and things like that. I know you might get like the healthiest thing on the menu and things like that, but keep in mind you don't know how that food was prepared. It could be loaded with calories, it could be loaded with salt, it could be loaded with sugar or sodium and things like that. So you don't know, and it could cause you to gain weight as well, cause you to consume more calories in the long run. So you definitely want to be mindful of that as well. Not saying that you can't eat out, but you definitely want to be careful when you're doing it, because you just simply don't know how the food was prepared, and you don't know if it's a lot of salt or things like that. The only way you can definitely watch your salt and things like that and sugar if you prepare the food yourself, to be real with you. But my ninth tip would be to watch your carbs. That would be bread, pasta, rice. You want to be mindful of the carbs like potatoes and things like that. Not saying you can't have those things, but if it's not in moderation, if you're eating a little too many carbs, it can cause you to gain weight as well. So be careful with that. And my 10th and my final tip would be, don't compare your journey to anyone else's journey. Everybody's body is different, everyone's weight loss is different, everyone's experience is different. Like with me, when I gain weight, the first place it goes is in my chest and in my stomach. Some people, when they gain weight, it'll go in their butt and their hips. Mine didn't really do that. And also when I lose weight, it drops from my chest and also my stomach, like what's going on now. I mean, I'm not happy about my losing my chest, but I guess it is what it is. I'd rather be healthy than worry about some big boobs. But anyways, I'm looking back at my cat. I don't know what the heck he's over there doing. But anyway, I can stand up for you guys. And also, make sure that you stay tuned to the end of this video. I am going to include some pictures, my progress pictures as well, from when I first started this journey at 195 to where I'm at now. Now I'm at 153, weigh 153, and I'm actually a 910 now. And when I started this journey, I was a 16, 18. So I will include pictures, so stay tuned. So again, I would like to thank you guys very, very much for watching, and make it a blessed rest of your Sunday. Boom. Deuces.